We are now less than 200 days until the World Cup kicks off in 16 cities across the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. The 48 teams have now been split into their groups, and this weekend we will find out who is coming to the Pacific Northwest. Fans anxiously watch the announcement and are already queuing up for tickets. Find out the best practices for scoring a seat at the biggest sporting event in the world. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jessica Janner Castro. A really big step today as we get closer to the World Cup next summer, and we are breaking it all down in this special edition of King 5 News. After this morning's final draw, the teams in the World Cup now know who they will face in the group rounds that kick off in June. One big development for the matches here in Seattle is we know that Team USA will face Australia here at Lumen Field on June 19th. The rest of the schedule will be revealed tomorrow morning. NBC News reporter Drew Wilder joins us from the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C., where the draw was held this morning.
A massive party in the nation's capital kicks off the anticipation of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, with the three host countries, USA, Canada, and Mexico, automatically being selected as the first teams in their respective groups. There will be 48 teams, ultimately divided into 12 groups of 4 teams each, which will play a round-robin-style group stage, and the top 2 finishers of each group will advance into a single elimination-style tournament playing across 16 cities. The draw split the teams into 4 different pots, with pot 1 consisting of the host nations and the rest of the top-ranked teams in the world. The groups are made up of 1 team from each pot, meaning Team USA would not have to go up against one of the best teams in the world, at least in the first round. In the group with the Americans are the Australians, Team Paraguay, and a 4th seat which will be decided after an ongoing European playoff. 2026 FIFA World Cup plays its first match on June 11th and concludes with the championship match on July 19th in New York, New Jersey at MetLife Stadium. Reporting in Washington, D.C., Drew Wilder, NBC News.
All so exciting, and Ariel Orsuto is joining me now to break down the 3 groups that are going to be playing matches here in Seattle.
Yeah, first of all, I didn't realize I was going to be matching the FIFA background here.
Yeah.
I'm here for the event, I guess. Yeah, so it's obviously, Seattle Stadium, first of all, is what we're going to be having here for Lumen Field. That's what's going to be called this summer. It's going to be 4 group stages, 4 group stage games, including that marquee game with the United States and Australia. But they'll start on June 15th with a Group G game, and that could be any team from Belgium, Egypt, Iran, and New Zealand, followed by the U.S. game on the 19th. More on that one in a moment, so hold that thought. But on the 24th, we'll welcome in Qatar and the winner of the UEFA Playoff A game, which could be Wales, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Italy, or Northern Ireland. Italy is a 4-time World Cup winner on the outside looking in at the minute, so that could be a massive team to beat if and when I think they will probably win that UEFA game. The final group stage game is on the 26th. That's back to that original Group G game. So then Seattle will host a round of 32 knockout game between Group G winner, which again we'll be familiarized with because we've now seen them twice, versus the 3rd place game of an A, E, H, I, or J game, which none of them which are the United States, so we will not see them in that knockout round game.
Okay.
But then diving deeper back into the United States, obviously the guy to keep an eye on is going to be Christian Pulisic. He's the guy up front. He's their hero. He's the star. He's been injured though, so they're going to need him to be healthy if they're going to want to get past this Group D and advance to the knockout stage. But a guy that people from Seattle are going to be eager to see right here in Seattle is if Christian Roldan makes the roster of midfielders. He's the Sounders star. He has 43 caps with the national team, so he's no stranger to the team. He was on the 2022 World Cup roster, just didn't really see any action there for their matchup here against Australia. They are 2-2-1 against the Aussies, so that's a really good.
That's great.
That's good so far, and honestly, against the entire group, it's pretty favorable. They actually only have 2 losses, a losing record, I should say, against Romania and Slovakia, and neither of them right now are guaranteed a spot in that group. They're right now in that UEFA group.
And then just really quickly, Ariel, explain, because there are some playoff matches
Sure.
still going on, so someone that's not familiar with soccer is maybe wondering why those are not decided, but those are still ongoing. Those teams like Italy that you mentioned that will perhaps make it into this World Cup.
Sure. I mean, a lot of people are really familiar kind of more with like the basketball format of things, like the basketball college bracket. There's the the teams that are given an at-large bid,
sure,
but by their record and then there's teams that have to win their specific conference tournament in order to get in. Very similar to this. So FIFA has given these at-large bids to certain teams, but then others have to earn their way in through their conference tournament, which is in this case the UEFA playoff.
And just a few months to go till we get to the World Cup, but obviously still plenty of time for those injured players to recover and also for us to see what happens.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Ariel. All right, so now that we know the groups, now the question is who from those groups will play here in Seattle? Ariel just kind of mentioned that, but we're going to get some more specifics tomorrow morning, and that announcement is coming at 9 a.m. That includes game times, etc. So here is what we do know about the first matches in Seattle. During the group rounds, 4 of the matches will happen at Lumen Field. The first is on June 15th, so mark your calendar also for the match on the 19th. That is when the U.S. team will face off against Australia here in Seattle. That's really the marquee game and the one that we're all watching for. Once play gets beyond the group stage, then there will be those 2 additional matches Ariel mentioned here in Seattle. Those are the knockout rounds. No matter which teams end up playing here in the Emerald City, fans are already excited, many of them getting together already to watch the draw this morning in Seattle's Capitol Hill neighborhood. King 5 Sebastian Robertson was there with them as the groups were announced.
It was an early and exciting morning for fans. They gathered at Stoop Brewing in Capitol Hill for the draw that was broadcast from Washington, D.C. We now know that the U.S. is guaranteed to face Australia and Portugal. The exciting part for those in Seattle is that USA-Australia game will be played at Lumen on June 19th. Seattle is one of 16 host cities for 2026. Lumen Field will be the venue for 6 World Cup matches in the summer. This morning, fans and FIFA ambassadors gathered to watch all 48 nations sorted into 12 groups of 4. One thing we know, each host nation, Canada, the US, and Mexico, is guaranteed at least 1 home appearance. But exactly which cities get those? The answer comes Saturday.
That's a great advantage. When we went to the round of 16 in '94, it was in the U.S. That was our best World Cup showing. Having a home game for each of these 3 countries will be a significant advantage.
Fans now know who their favorite team will be up against in the early rounds, but they're still waiting on those schedule assignments to book airline tickets, hotels. And remember, games are just 6 months away. In Seattle, Sebastian Robertson, King 5 News.
We are joined now by former Sounders player and team ambassador Brad Evans. Brad, great to see you again. I know you and I have chatted before. You know I love soccer. Yeah, it's a great day today. And you were at the draw celebration this morning in Redmond. Tell us how that was and also how big of an opportunity it is that the World Cup is coming here to Seattle.
I think this opportunity is massive. The draw was amazing. I was actually in Redmond today celebrating with like 200 people watching this draw, and you just really realize how tangible the moment is and what it means to the city of Seattle. It's just a fantastic opportunity. Even if you're not a soccer fan, everyone's going to want to be a part of this party. You've got Australia coming, Paraguay, and a to-be determined team in our group, and it's just going to be a massive party, and especially on Juneteenth, celebrating that game in Seattle and watching the U.S. play here is going to be a spectacle like no other.
Let's talk about the U.S. squad. They are on a 5-game unbeaten streak. They are still 7 months to go, as you've mentioned. But where do you think right now we stand in terms of strength?
Yeah, I think this team is ready to go. Look, if you would have asked me this 6 months ago, I wouldn't have said the same thing. I've done a lot of podcasts, a lot of blogging as well, and I wasn't fully convinced that this group was that group of workman-like mentality to get the job done. And I think that's only because, let's not forget, this U.S. team didn't have to qualify for this World Cup as they did in years prior. So they didn't go through that really tough, going into CONCACAF teams down in Central America and into the Caribbean. It's really difficult to play in those games, and that gets you ready for a World Cup. Well, this World Cup, hosting it, they're automatically in. And so now they're having to try to find that grit mentality, and they've done that, especially in the past month, with great results. And they're going to have a really difficult schedule coming up in the spring, heading into this World Cup. I think they'll make it out of the group. That's when the big test will start for this U.S. team.
And let's talk about that group. U.S. will play Australia and Paraguay, 2 teams that they have beaten in the last 2 months. So how much can you take from those wins?
Oh man, that's difficult as a player. I think, you always love to think that because you've beat a team once, you can do it again. But this is sports and it's a World Cup. It's kind of like a Portland Timbers Sounders rivalry. No matter where you're at in the table, one team could be last, one team at the top of the table. But when they meet, you throw all the cards out the window because it's so unpredictable. Everyone's playing at their highest level in front of a massive crowd, and there's a World Cup on the line. Every player dreams about this moment. So I think, yes, you can learn from those things. You watch tape, I know the coaching staff is going to break it down. And at the end of the day, it comes down to individual battles. Now, the one thing they do have in their advantage is being here on U.S. soil. They'll do it again here, which is what they did in the previous couple games. And they should have the advantage. But like I said, it's a World Cup game, and everybody is playing to their maximum. And you will get the best game, hopefully, out of every player. And now it's individual battles. Who's going to win those? And your captain of the team is going to have to ultimately lead you.
Brad, really quick, since I want to just hear from your perspective, since you're a player, how much does that pressure ramp up when you're playing for country, not a team, like a specific city team?
Yeah, look, I've played in World Cup qualifiers. I played here in 2013 with the U.S. against Panama in Seattle, and it is unlike any other occasion that you can put that USA jersey on and represent your country. It's amazing to play for your club team, but your opportunity to play for your U.S. team is few and far between for most of us. I was just on the fringe of being on that team, had to really work to get myself into that team and be integral in getting victories. And so you just can't take it for granted. I think this group, when you put on the USA jersey, it is phenomenal. If you get a goal, even better. It's the highlight of my life, scoring a goal for the U.S. team in my whole soccer career. And all these players, you have to think, this is what they've dreamed of. Yes, you want to play for big teams in Europe and get all the money, the fame, the glory, but you want to be in a World Cup. That's what every player dreams about. That's what they want. And like I said, it's going to bring out the best in everyone.
It's so great. Brad Evans, thanks so much for being with us this afternoon. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
So once the schedule is announced tomorrow, the rush for the tickets is sure to pick up. That's on top of the 2 million tickets already sold for the matches in the first round of the lottery. The ticket lottery is already underway. Another round will start after the schedule release. And right now you can still register to be in the lottery on FIFA.com/tickets. Like the previous phases, fans selected in the lottery will then be given a time frame to purchase their tickets. But what if you want to skip all of that hassle and buy tickets on the resale market? That is an option, but buyer beware.
You can only buy tickets through FIFA.com, and they have set up a reselling platform, and these tickets can only be resold once.
Remember, FIFA.com will be the only place to purchase legit tickets, even in resale. If you buy them on a third-party ticket site, you are risking getting scammed. So again, buyer beware. Now, if you strike out getting tickets or you don't want to test your luck, there will be plenty of other options to watch the World Cup across Washington state. There will be 9 fan zones located across the state, stretching from Bellingham to Vancouver and east to Spokane. And as we get closer to the tournament, those exact locations will be announced. Soccer fans will be flooding into Seattle next summer, and they all need somewhere to stay. We'll tell you how hotels are bracing for the rush. And with the clock ticking down to the World Cup coming to U.S. soil, what you can expect from the tournament and how the Seattle soccer world is reacting to today's draw. Welcome back. As with any major sporting event, you need a good mascot, and next year's World Cup has three. There's Clutch, the bald eagle for the United States, a nod to our country's national bird, of course. Maple the moose represents Canada, and Mexico has Zayu the jaguar. Here in Seattle, excitement is building, and so are hotel bookings. As King 5's Mimi Jung reports, this is just one part of the economic wave the World Cup is expected to bring to the city.
From luxury hotels to boutique properties, hotels in Seattle are already courting soccer fans a year before the first World Cup match kicks off.
We feel really blessed to be in a vibrant part of the city in South Lake Union, of where we're maybe one step away from the hustle and bustle of the CBD and all the activities that the FIFA is going to put into that part of downtown.
One Hotel Seattle is one of the newest properties to open up in the city, where sustainability is front and center.
These are the carafes and glasses that we have in each room.
From the filtered water in the rooms,
We got 3 live plants in each room.
to a living moss wall in the lobby, the hotel brings nature indoors and caters to guests who want an eco-conscious stay.
We believe that in with the wood, out with the plastic is really the way to go.
Seattle has nearly 16,000 hotel rooms, and summer occupancy usually hovers near 80% in June and July. But with 750,000 fans expected for the World Cup, tourism experts expect hotels to be nearly full next summer, which could mean big business for nearby communities like Bellevue. That city has seen hotel occupancy return to pre-pandemic levels. Last year, hotel revenue in Bellevue jumped 19%, and the city expects the influx of international fans to bring even more energy to the downtown core.
There's something special about walking along the street and hearing all these different languages and really kind of feeling like we're a place where the world can come and gather.
Visit Seattle says the region is ready to shine, from its restaurants and retail to hotels and hospitality. With iconic views of the Space Needle and perks like free courtesy rides to the stadium, One Hotel Seattle hopes to make an impression that lasts long after the final whistle blows.
We're going to have a whole summer to practice and then ready for 26.
Kelly Sailing from Visit Seattle joining us live right now. And Kelly, you are actually in D.C. right now. You were there for the draw this morning. It kind of looked like a concert. I'm just curious, how was the experience this morning?
Yeah, good evening from DC. What an honor it was to be there. Definitely a lot of pomp and circumstance, and a pretty cool ordeal overall.
And Kelly, you helped lead the bid to bring the World Cup here to Seattle. Why was it so important to put Seattle on the international stage?
Certainly this will be the biggest event that we've done, so it's an honor to participate and be one of the 16 cities. The ability to show off on a global stage is really what will be a big distinguishing factor for Seattle that we get to do this summer in our prime season when we're at our most gorgeous in the Emerald City.
That's true. And Seattle's such a huge soccer city. Do you think that influenced the decision to bring it here?
For sure. I think our fandom and our incredible teams, really just the passion behind it. And, you know, the teams that we get to have, we know for sure that the U.S. men's national team on the 19th is playing Australia. I'm actually here at the Australian Embassy now, and there's just already a ton of excitement to come to Seattle and to bring their entire delegation. It's really exciting.
And there has been a lot of talk about safety in Seattle. What would you tell people who are looking to visit here during the tournament?
Sure. So our local organizing committee has incredible leadership, and they are leading the charge, saying that safety is our #1 priority. So it's a great time of year that we get to show everybody, have it be light the entire time, and the city is going to look great.
And for everyone living here in Western Washington, what can they expect as fans from around the globe come here to the Emerald City? You know, maybe they're not too familiar with World Cup, but we know the world is, and they're coming.
Yeah, this tournament really is for us. It's for the residents. We're the ones that get the incredible leave behinds. So there's legacy that's happening. There's certainly been a ton of progress at the airport, and all of that gets to stay, which is, you know, for us, the people that get to live here and experience the city, not just during World Cup, but all of our days.
Yeah, and certainly the city is getting ready. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Enjoy your trip there to Washington, D.C. and also to the Australian Embassy where you are currently. We appreciate your time. Coming up, breaking down what's next, the schedule, and how the tournament will work when the teams arrive here in Seattle, and much more as excitement grows for the World Cup. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now, if you don't mind a quick trip north over the border, Vancouver is also hosting several World Cup matches. Take a look here at the group stage lineup. The first game there is going to be held on June 13th. The home team, Canada, will have 2 matches in Vancouver on the 18th and the 24th. Seattle's entire soccer community is buzzing around the World Cup coming here to the city next summer. And at today's watch party for the draw, King 5 Sebastian Robertson caught up with former Seattle U national champion coach Pete Fewing.
48 of the world's best teams are coming to North America. The big question is, where will they play and win? Hopefully some of those answers will start to materialize after today. I want to bring in soccer royalty. Peter, longtime Seattle U football coach, soccer coach, as we should say.
Yeah.
What do you like? Well, let me just say first, you've turned to a FIFA ambassador. What is your role as ambassador here?
Well, attending these events is one of them. I'll be at the games as well, which will be a lot of fun, and I think it's a pretty fluid position, so I don't really know what I'll be doing day to day, but I will be around with there's about 25 of us that are ambassadors for this World Cup.
Pretty exciting day today. We don't know much so far as details, but what do you like out of what you've seen?
Well, I love the energy in the room. We're about 187 days away, and I think after today and then tomorrow, we'll learn more detail of game times, matchups. So I think it's just going to start going faster and faster, and this World Cup's going to get here before we know it.
So there's some speculation that Seattle may get a Team USA game, Canada may get a Team Canada game.
For sure.
Do we know this for sure?
We do know this for sure, yeah. The US will play here for certain, and they'll play in Los Angeles. We don't know where their third group stage game will be. Each host country will host a game. So Canada will host in Canada, Mexico will host in Mexico as well. That's a great advantage. When we went to the round of 16 in '94, it was in the US. That was our best World Cup showing. Having a home game for each of these 3 countries will be a significant advantage.
I've been asking everybody this. What is your dream matchup and in what city?
Dream matchup. My parents are from England, So I'm going to say England, USA, and I'll say here in Seattle. That would be great.
All right, you called it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Exciting day. Many more to come.
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. Back to you.
Started.
Let's go.
All right, thanks to Sebastian for being out there this morning. And as we've been telling you, we learned today which teams are in which groups. So what is next? Mike Leslie from our sister station in Dallas explains.
So now that the World Cup draw has taken place, what's next for the 48 nations that have been placed into their 12 groups? First comes the group stage. The 4 teams in each group will play a round robin. 3 matches in total, with the top 2 teams from each group advancing to the knockout stage. 8 of the 12 third-place teams will advance as well based on tiebreaker rankings. The group stage will run from June 11th to June 27th. A 32-team knockout stage will then follow, with matches spanning for the next 3 weeks, starting on June 28th, as they advance round by round by round to the World Cup final on July 19th.
And here is a look at those 4 group stage matches again that will be held here in Seattle. In addition to those matches, the Emerald City will host 2 more knockout matches. Those will both be the first week of July in the round of 32 and round of 16. And those knockout stages, that's when things really get exciting. But of course, the whole tournament is exciting. First time we're seeing this many teams in the World Cup as well. So that is pretty unique. Thank you for joining us for the special edition of King